For you to be a good school owner, like I said earlier on, you have to become a teacher first. If you are a teacher, I believe the job is half done, because without having this experience of being a teacher, it may be very difficult to start a school, even to manage a school, irrespective of how much money you have in the bank or in your account. When you have money but you don't have the experience, there may be a lot of challenges, and maybe even more than the benefits. So, citing myself as an example now, I started as a journalist. I was a journalist for about 24 years. Yeah, I did not even plan to become a teacher, but by providence, or let me say by God's grace, I became one, and I spent minimum of 14 years before I decided to start my own school. I became a teacher by pure providence, like I said. I don't want to say luck. My husband used to be the one attending to my children's assignments. But as a teacher, you have a totality of 100% belief from your parents, from your students rather. Whatever you have taught them, they believe is the best. Even parents at home trying to tell them this is wrong or this is right, the kids are not ready to listen to you because they believe so much in their teachers. Then there was this particular day that my husband was attending to my children's assignments, and he realized, even as a lawyer, that even though he has not read English language, but at least basic English are well understood by lawyers, doctors, or whoever you are as a professional. That called my attention. Mrs. Grammarian, come. Is this English correct? And when I checked it, I realized that it was completely wrong. And my kids were still arguing that was what our teacher taught us. I had no choice. Thank God the school was not too far from our home. I took my clothing and I just decided to go and visit the proprietors. I went there second day. I'm not too sure whether on Monday or Tuesday. When I saw the proprietor, I said, excuse me, sir, your teachers have been teaching my children nonsense. I'm here with a total humility. I've been a journalist for so many years, and I understand English very well. Apart from that, I read English language, and by the special grace of God, I have some little knowledge of English grammar. And I said, he said, madam, hope no problem. And I told him where the teacher made some mistakes. I thank God he called the teacher, and I said, teacher, what do you mean by this and that? He repeated what my children told us at home. And I sat him down in the presence of the proprietor that this is wrong. This is the answer. And thank God for dictionary and internet. We were able to see that it was wrong. The proprietor became so impressed. He now said, Mrs. Beckley, I've been looking for somebody like you for so many years. My students have been failing English, and I would like you to just be coming even once in a week. You see, I told him that I was not opportune because I was a journalist. He said, no, madam, please, even just one day in a week, I will be giving you this money. I was tempted by the money he offered me for attending a classroom for a day and to be given such a huge amount. I concurred. That was how I started going to the school as a part-time teacher, teaching their SS1 to 3. And gradually, I started enjoying teaching. And instead of me going for one day, like the man proposed the other time, one day turned to 3 days. That was how I became a full-fledged teacher. Thank God that time I was already making up my mind to leave journalism for good. Because, like I said, I spent about 24 years, and that was how I got myself into teaching. I spent complete 14 years with the professor, and so many things were happening in the school. Nothing to write to me about. When the exam was around, we'll be the one teaching the children, writing on the board. Thank God the students were coming out with flying colors. But as a pastor, an ordained pastor, I started having this problem within me. My spirit would not allow me to rest, that I was doing something seriously bad. Eventually, I told my husband about it, and he said, wow, that was the time I was seriously sick unto death. He said, if you had died that time, you are going to hellfire. I remember very well when I started teaching, he was advising me that, my love, don't just go to that school. Who knows, maybe one day like that, you may have your own school. Just look at what they are doing there. Find some of the teachers that can become your friends, whereby you can ask questions. Thank God you are a journalist. That was exactly what I did. I didn't just go there, you see. I didn't just go there teaching. I was there learning indirectly and directly. I was able to know how to start a school. I was able to know how you can grow a school. I started knowing where to go, what to do, how to go to the exam board, how to use this and that. I was able to do that. So when I confessed our atrocity to my husband, he said, wow, we have been doing something that is so bad. Okay, you can promise God and you are so sure about yourself that you can start a school, I'm ready to help you. That was the beginning. Thank God for my husband. He just said, okay, I have this land that has been laying there for some time. Nothing has been happening there. If you are ready, I'm ready with you. Under 6 months, he was able to build our first school for me. And thank God, with God by my side, I cannot totally tell you that it has been a bed of roses. But so far, so good. God has been helping and been taking control. So that was the story of my journey from my being a classroom teacher to a school owner. So telling you people about my experience as a school owner, all I can tell you is that it has not been an easy road. Owning a school is not a bed of roses, like I said earlier. It takes a lot of courage. It will take some of your time. It calls for patience. It calls for perseverance. And most importantly, determination. You see, if you want to run a good school, the first thing you should have is passion. Passion for that job. Don't forget that I was a journalist for a number of years. But immediately I started teaching, I developed passion for it. Not necessarily the money coming out of it. I realized that I have this wherewithal to teach people and to understand. I started enjoying it. So by the time I moved to my own school, started my own school, I was not really actually after the money, because I've learned from my former boss that if you are going into school business for you to make profit first, you are not worthy to be there, because you'll be disappointed. The first 10 years of starting a school is like a learning period. The little money you can make for yourself will be thrown back into the business. So that means you cannot say, yes, thank God for this term, I've been able to make so amount of money, I'm going to keep it. No, you are going to throw the money back into the system. You'll be building the school. If you have one school, you'll be thinking of getting another. If you have one building, you'll be thinking of building more buildings, putting more buildings on your land. So many things like that. So far so good. There has been some benefits and there has been some challenges. One of the benefits of being a school owner is, number one, like I said, once you have a good determination, you have your mission statement, you have your vision, and so many. The other things that are coming will just be just minor things. One of the benefits of Berkeley Academy, that's the name of my school, is that I personally, as the owner, I have this dream of bringing about wonderful children that can become future leaders. That has been my number one on the agenda. It has not been the profit that I will make. Because I have that, it has been working for me. All the little money that I've been making, I've always been going back into the system. So I call it a benefit because it has made the job much more easier. Even when money is not rolling or not coming as expected, I have this mindset that all will be well. It's just a matter of time. We started the school 7 years ago, and to the glory of God, gradually, I can't call it crawling, because we are not crawling. As a matter of fact, moving. But I cannot say this is also amount I have in the bank that I've made, but I can see what I've been able to put in place. That is a benefit. You see, when you have a vision, you have a mission and a vision, there's nothing you cannot achieve. Then again, one of the benefits, being a Christian has helped me a lot. You see, many of the schools that we have today, I don't know about your own school, because like I said, this message is meant for both the school owners and the class teachers that want to be school owners. I don't know how you are running your own school, but I can assure you that I've had the fear of God leading me in running this school called Berkeley Academy. I have been running as a child of God. When I said as a child of God, it's like I've made a covenant with my God. What others are doing in their schools, I won't do it. One of them is exam malpractice. You know, if you see many of the schools we have around today, a lot of exam malpractices. Even starting from the common entrance. Look at the word common entrance. The word as it says common. You see some schools writing on the board for basic 5 or 6 students, helping them so that they can pass. What about BECE exams? You see them writing on the board for them. I know of a school that they even teach the teachers how they will help students to cheat in the examination. And they call that a benefit. It's not. It is a disgrace, it's an embarrassment, and it is evil. Because what they are teaching their pupils is corruption. Look at our country today, a lot of corruption here and there. And these people that are involved in corruption, they were brought up by some teachers. It is what they have taught them or what they have seen that they are really, really doing. So I call my own benefit because God has given me this opportunity just to work tirelessly to groom good teachers, whereby we can teach students without them cheating in an examination. We have been doing that, and this has been showing in some of our examinations, because I realized when we started that school, because we haven't gotten the approval then we were writing our BEC in one of the schools very close to mine. To the glory of God, my children have been coming first, and some of I can still remember very well in English literature, their students, many a time they wouldn't have read the literature reading books meant purposely for the exam. They would be asking my children in the exam hall, because they were not able to attend to any of the literature books, which we have covered about 6 or 5. It has been so easy for my children because I have read all the books. So I call that a benefit, not only to the school, even call it beneficial to the students that we have been grooming. It is a benefit. So I've been able to groom teachers that have the fear of God, because I have called them, I have told them what I really want. I don't want a situation whereby anybody will be teaching any of the children. Whenever we write an exam, You will never see any of my teachers even going close to any of the students, except if the children have some questions to ask concerning the exam question. It is a benefit. So I call it a benefit. Then another benefit is that when you run a school like that, you have a peace of mind. You see, I have this peace of mind. When I have a peace of mind, not necessarily because I have a lot of money in my account. No, I have this peace of mind that yes, this is one of the schools that can be pointed to as one of the best, because we are grooming people that have the fear of God. The Bible says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. So that is it. It is very good, and I call it a benefit. There are so many other benefits. You see, the way you operate your school, parents will know. Students will be the one telling their parents at home what obtains in your school. And you see parents themselves coming, telling you what their children have told them at home. Examination, the school examination, we have to scatter the children, give them number. If you are in basic 5 or 1 or 2, you may write your exam in GS1 class. That means the person sitting close to you may be in GS3. You can see that. So parents love that. From that, you have the opportunity of knowing a child that is good, that is brilliant, not the one that will be cheating or the one that will be asking others questions pertaining to the exam. So I call that a benefit too. It's beneficial too. So because majority of the people, when you ask them what are the benefits, they will tell you, I can make a lot of money. That is so. Like I said, a lot of people see the money making aspect of being a school owner as their own benefit. But like I was saying, it's more than money. It's more than money. Money is not everything. So I call that a benefit. Another wonderful benefit is that you see, even though I'm a school owner, I'm equally a teacher there. I'm the one taking the English language. As I'm training the children, teaching them, I'm equally teaching myself. It's a good benefit. It makes me to have more understanding of what I read in the university. You know, it renews my brain, it renews my power and knowledge of what I know doing best. To me, it is a benefit. It's a very wonderful benefit. I can go on and on talking about benefits. Now, coming to challenges, there are lots of challenges as a school owner. Number one challenge is the monetary aspect, finance. You see, to run a school business, it needs a lot of money. Like I told you, before you start making money, you must have at least a financial backing that can help you to start. I remember when I started Berkeley Academy, after God, it was my husband. I remember very well I think the whole of the first term or thereabout, I couldn't pay the teachers. He was the one paying the salary. Then it got to a stage that I would just say, lend me some money, I will return the money. And thank God, it got to a stage that I was returning the money back to him, and gradually we were able to stand on our 2 feet. So finance is a great challenge of any school. And I advise whoever wants to be a school owner, in as much as the fact that it is good to start with a rental building, but it's not much advisable, because I have been so lucky because the building belongs to me, given to me by my husband. But many people do not have such opportunity. You will realize that at the end of the term, even a section, some of the money you have been able to accrue, we have to go into renting. Yes, if you go into rentage of a hall or a school or a particular place that you want to use or you have been using, it has not been so easy for them. I have some people like that. You know, before you can pay your teachers, you pay rent. Oh God, by the time you look at the little amount of money that you have, the money is gone. The money is gone. I'm still coming back to talk about the location. Location too plays a major role in knowing the amount of money to pay to have from your parents. But talking about challenges, number one challenge, like I said, is monetary. Is financial. You have to have a backing, a kind of a backup. If you don't have, it may fail. It may fail. There are some things. The school has to be very good looking. It has to be very neat. You have to have money to give to your teachers. You know, any school that you start that you can't pay your teachers, it will not last long. Teachers are the source of a school. Yeah, they are source of the school. Just like we have spirit, soul, and body. If you have good teachers and you can't pay them, they will leave. So I have seen a situation. I have a sister in the church. She started a school about 14 years ago. No, I give it to her. She's a wonderful sister. They started from the husband joined her later, so both of them started from a rented apartment. But despite being on a rented apartment, she joined a cooperative whereby money she can get money. You know, she was always going there to get money and be building and be building and be building. You know, it's not everybody that can do that. There was a time she told me that BP has gone up. You know, imagine somebody going to a cooperative giving her 3 million, 2 million. It's only somebody that is so strong that can do that. But to the glory of God today, they have both their primary and secondary school built by them. She's still paying back some money to some cooperative and banks, but at least she's very well on her feet now. So she will be telling me, Miss Beckley, you are lucky. One day she came to my school. She said, wow. If only I could get this. If only I could have this. So I thank God I'm one of the luckiest few that I started with my own building, courtesy of my husband. So if not for that, the problem would have been so much. In spite of the fact that my husband gave me a building, I can still tell you that there are so many challenges when it comes to the issue of money. Because like I told you earlier, you need to continue to build and build and build if you want a good school. You can't just say, I have made 500,000 today, let me keep it in the bank. No way. You have to sow it back into the school so that it can continue. You know, when you have 500,000 today, by tomorrow there will be something that we need to use the money for in the school. Maybe you need to get new desk, you need to change your blackboard, you need to repaint the school, you have to increase the salaries, you have to, a lot of things. So if you are if you have tight fingers, you know what I mean? If you are somebody that don't want to spend money, you can't be a school owner because you have to keep on spending and spending. You don't think of saving any money for now. Like I was told when I started that in the first 10 years, don't expect profits. When they say that, it does not mean that you will not be making some little money for yourself, but you have to put it back into the system. Apart from the monetary challenge, there are so many other challenges. You know, you can have a challenge of teachers, a teacher challenge. You know, some people, you give them, you interview them, you will see that yes, they have good results, they have good certificates, and they will have told you different kind of stories. You will try them, of course. They may do well during the interviews, but by the time you employ them, you see that their style of teaching is nothing to write home about. And this, of course, can affect your students. Teachers are the most important in the school. Once the teachers are bad, you have become a bad market yourself, because the children will not be doing well, parents will start complaining, and you see them, some of them may not even tell you that they will not come back. You know, certainly we have some children or students that are numbskulls. You know, when I say numbskulls, I believe that every child is brilliant, but there are particular set of children that they are really numbskulls. No matter the amount of time you put in to teach them, they will see it will appear that as if they know nothing. But it's a challenge, because the parents will keep on complaining. I'll be wondering if you have 10 students in the class and 6 of them are doing wonderfully well, you can give it to that teacher. That teacher is great. But the few ones that are not doing well, their parents are ready to spoil your school. They are ready to tell others that that school is not good. My child has been there, or my children have been there for 2-3 years. I couldn't see what they have been teaching them. It's a great challenge, I'm telling you, because we've had cases like that in my own school too. But as a protector or perpetrator, you have to be very patient. You have to persevere. You have to be able to sit them down, tell them down. That was a particular time I took some parents into their classroom. That okay, your child is in this class. I want you to spend about 20 minutes in this class and see how other students are coping. They were there. They saw that other children are doing very well. So they were able to see they are just lacking behind because of certain personal problems. But notwithstanding, that particular child, he or she too must be able to do well. You have to put in more effort. That is a challenge. It is a big challenge, because the only one or two of them that are not doing so well can mar the image of your school. You know, people love negative stories than positive ones. So it has been something that I really put my time into, to see that children are doing wonderfully well, you know, and that's beneficial too. When children are doing so wonderfully well, you don't need much advertisement, because when a child is brought to your school, oh, I brought this child from that so particular school, there's nothing in saying, the head is empty. You should be able to assure them that now that he or she has come to your school, don't worry, just give me this term. By the time that term ends and the child that the parents have written off started doing well, they will be the one telling other people about your school. It has happened to me many times like that. So if I look at my school today, I see all those children. I've been wondering, where did they come from? Number one is God himself, and number two is what you have been able to do as a school owner, to do concerning the children that they have brought to you and the good teachers that you have. And continue. So we have the challenge of parents. Some parents, you know, they are just evil. I use the word evil because we have particular parents that are so bad, that are so cantankerous. They are ready to spoil your school. They are impatient. From home, they are bad, and they will bring that into the school. If you are not patient enough, or you don't have the wisdom of God, they are ready to spoil your school, to scatter everything that you have been building. So it's a great challenge. I've had a series of experiences concerning that too. There was a particular parent that she was even pointing her finger at my nose. You see, it was so terrible that, you know, if not because I cautioned myself, imagine by the time you start fighting your parents, the news will circulate around. People will not want to know what the parent has done. They will be particular about you as a school owner. That's Mama Beckley. That's what she does. She fights her parents. Better don't take your child to that school. So it's a great challenge. It is a great challenge, which every school owner must be able to curtail. If you can't do that, you are personally ruining your school. So if you are impatient, you have to learn to be patient. You have to persevere. Some of them will talk anyhow. You will look at the standard of the person talking to you. You look at the age. You look at so many things. But with God on your side, you'll be able to handle such situations. I can go on with so many other challenges, but I think I've said the major ones. So as your school is growing, or as a school owner, you should be able to mind yourself with parents. You should become their friends by fire, by force. Even those that you consider are below your standard, you have no choice. Else it will become a great challenge that you may not be able to handle. So talking about the requirements for setting up a school, vis-a-vis the government stated and financial aspect. I have spoken about financial aspects of a school. To have a good school, you have to have a strong financial backup. Because from cooperative, coming from your husband or your wife or wherever, but you must have a very serious financial backup for your school to be able to stand. One of the requirements for a good school, I've said a lot. A good school must have a vision. If you don't have a vision, even in the book of Habakkuk, it says write it down. is a vision. If you don't have a vision, that means you are visionless. I don't know how you are going to start well or end well. So it's a requirement. You have to have a mission. Vision is different from mission. Vision is what you have aspired, what you have seen, your dream, what you have planned to do with what you want to start. The mission is what you intend to do. You see, there is nobody that will not have a mission. There must be a purpose why you have started something that you are doing. So that those two are wonderful requirements. When we are talking about finance, is a wonderful requirement. They must have a vision, you must have a mission, you must know the reason, the purpose of you starting that school. Very, very, very important. Once you can note your vision and your mission, there is nothing stopping you. Even the sky will not be the limit. Then you have a very strong financial background. I'm still telling you, even as of now that we say we are standing well, we are still looking for money to do so many things. So finance is very, very important. Then talking about demographic play in setting up a school, vis-a-vis location, income, and potential parents. Location is very, very important. Location is very, very. I have learned that many years now that location is very important. You see, the location you find yourself will determine what the kind. What I'm going to say is this: the location you find yourself is going to determine how much you are going to collect. You see, when you find yourself in a very local location, sorry to say that, when I say local, not in a village, you know that when we are talking about somebody at Abule Egba or Songo, and you want to compare yourself with schools in Victoria Island, Lekki, Banana Island, you know what I'm talking about. So your target audience will be the people that will come to your school. When I say target audience, everybody dreams of having parents that are able, you see, with potentials, people that can pay a lot of money. But at times, situation will determine, or the location will determine what you are going to do. That does not mean that you cannot have a big school in a location that is not that exposed. In my area here, we have so many big schools. They are there, and they are making a lot of money there. So for them to make a lot of money, they have put so many things into place. You know, there's a particular school, we have about 2 or 3 of them that I respect so much. They have beautiful buildings. You see, when people see the building and they are set up, you know that this is a big school. This is a school. They started small, and now they have. When you look at their buses, you'll be counting the number. Number one, I can count like Light Baker. You see about 48 buses, and around they started with just one bus like that, even without a bus. But despite the fact that they are located in an area where we have so many artisans, but their customers are coming from outside of this area. I've said 2 things here about your school being located in a remote area. So that cannot stop your progress. That does not mean you cannot make it. But at times, many a time, when you find yourself in a situation where majority of the people are artisans, you have to come down to their level, because they are the only people that you can see that can be what do they call them, potential customers. Sure, you understand? But in as much as you have some of them in your school, as a school now, you have to strive to have a standard that very soon you go away from them. You cast your look aside from them. You will see them as just a stepping stone. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, you have to start somehow, someplace. You can start with them. Like what I'm doing now in my school, we started with very cheap school fee. And when you start with a very cheap school fee, it will attract a lot of people that do not have much money. Why did we do it like that? Because the schools around, they were collecting little money. But to show standard, we had to increase our own money at least twice of what they were demanding for. Do you understand what I'm saying now? We demanded more money, and to the glory of God, people started coming. It got to a majority of them are just falling out of the way because they couldn't afford it. But since we are building a school, a standard for ourselves, we have been able to retain majority of them. They know that okay, the school around this area, Berkeley Academy, is collecting more money, but we are getting our money worth. Do you understand what I'm saying? So talking about location pay more important. From the bottom of my heart, I would have loved my school to have been located in another area because of the kind of knowledge we are passing across to students. Yes, at times I say, oh, I wish my school is at Lekki with this standard that we are dishing out. But because of the kind of people that we are surrounded with, we are managing them. And to the glory of the Lord, we are not diminishing, we are increasing both in size and building and in so many other things. So location plays a very, very important role. If your school is located where a lot of poor people are, one may not make it in time. You may not be diminishing, you may be increasing, but the rate at which you may get money may not be as much as when you are located in an highbrow place. You know, when your school is located in an highbrow place, you know you'll be able to get customers that may quickly push your school forward. So that is talking about location. But any location you find yourself, you should be able to take control of that location. There will be, in as much as the place is a remote area, there will be so many schools. I'm surrounded by schools. I'm surrounded by about 6, 7, 8 schools. But I've never been afraid of any of them. Instead, they've been the one copying me. Why? Because I know my onions, I know what I want, I know the standard that I've put on ground. It is that standard that will be helping you, no matter the location. Even if you're in an highbrow place and your standard is not that good, you may not be able to retain students, because after parents have been paying a lot of money and they couldn't see noticeable changes in their pupils or children, at the end of the day, gradually school will be packing up. So that is talking about location. And talking about income. Income is very, very important, but many a time you may be disappointed about the income. So if you are a school owner, you want to go into school business, you believe that the money will be flowing in like somebody in a gas company. That may not be so, because we have so many parents that always love to hold schools. Not only my school, I have many friends that have their own schools. It has been the same major problem of income, because majority of our parents are nothing to write home about. Some of them are debtors, chronic debtors. You know, while it be that parents are paying right in time, many schools will not be complaining. I'm very sure of that, because when they pay, even no matter how little the money coming in is, you should be able to do well when you can get the money right in time. But alas, majority of our students are chronic debtors. So when you are a school owner, you have to persevere. You have to have a lot of patience. If you let's just say you expect that your income for this term should be, after paying the salaries or paying the rent, if you are paying for the rent, should be 500,000. Don't be surprised that you may eventually get 100,000 naira. So if you are such a person that has come into this business, like I said earlier, because of gains or benefit of money, you'll be disappointed and you may lose your vision. So that is the truth. I'm telling you the truth and nothing but the whole truth. So talking about potential parents around, so many things I've said from what I've been saying before. You can have potential parents through the standard of your school. Like I've been using our own school as an example now. I do not do much advertisement. The parents have been the one advertising on my behalf. When they bring their words and they are able to see noticeable changes, they'll be the one calling others to go to that school. Like a parent came to school today, They just moved to that area, and she brought 3 children. And she said, I was trying to explain to her that you have come to the right school. This is why. He said, Madam, don't talk much. It was somebody in the neighborhood that directed me to your school. I was so happy. I said, what did the person tell you about our school? She started telling me beautiful things about our school, and among them, they told her how patient I've been with collecting school fees. I said, you can imagine that. If parents could be telling parents that Miss Becky is so patient when it comes to school fees, and I told her, I'm always very patient when it comes to school fee collection, but things have a little bit changed now. So you are bringing 3 children, you have to be able to give us about 70% of your. He said, but they said you can take at least 40%. I said that was then when Nigeria was Nigeria. But in a friendly manner, we are able to show understanding. We are able to connect. So that is what we are talking about by potential parents. Potential parents can come, if you can advertise very well. I can see a lot of schools doing personal advertisement. They will do flyers. I've done that before too. I've never seen some of the parents brought about by the flyers. I'm telling you the fact here. The flyers I've been doing, and the one you pin on the road, many of them have not been bringing much students than the potential parents. The parents have tested us, and they can see that we are actually really trying. So that is why school standard is very, very important. When your school is good, when you are doing the right thing, when students are doing wonderfully well, there is nothing stopping you from growing, because it's the parent that we advertise for you. So we call them potential parents, and they will bring others to your school. Then talking about the type of workforce, etc. For you to have a good school, you must have a very strong workforce. When I say very strong workforce, number one, we have to get somebody that are able-bodied. An able-bodied person that is ready to work, that is not lazy. Many a time the certificate does not really matter. I'm sorry to say this thing. I have a teacher in my school. She doesn't, talking about education, she has nothing much, but I can call her one of the backbones of my school. She's she works tirelessly. She brings so many potential parents. She'll be the one doing this and that, even without much education. I have to push her to HM, you see. So when your workforce, you have to have a very wonderful workforce. People that they understand your vision. People that look at your mission. They want to key into your idea. They want to follow what you have in mind. Those are the kind of people you should not go and look for people that are lazy, that are not ready to follow your mission. They don't even have your mission at heart. They do what they like. But when you can get good people, you have a very wonderful workforce, and the job will just continue to grow and grow. So talking about wrong expectation about owning a school, you see, I have said it. One of the wrong expectations is, I want to start this school for me to make profit. That's the wrong expectation. That should not be the number one thing. Number one thing is your vision, like I've said. Number two thing is your mission. Then your determination. Your passion. Your passion plays a very vital role here. If you don't have any passion for what you are doing, you can't be successful in it. I'm sorry to say this. You have to have passion for whatever you do. If you have passion, when I teach, I love it. I love impacting knowledge. I show a lot of passion. Even if money is not coming in, I'm less bothered. I have some teachers like that in my school. They continue to work tirelessly. So when I look at them, I'm always pushed to do wonderful things for them too. How much is the salary? How much do teachers collect? You see, the salaries of teachers cannot be compared with anything. But because of the love and the passion they have for the job, that can keep a school growing. So that is why your workforce is very important. If you are looking, I remember I was looking for a teacher recently. The teacher said he read English from Obafemi Awolowo University. Okay, fine. I was happy. You are welcome. The first thing he asked, Madam, without even giving interviewing him, he said, how much will you be offering me? I said, okay. Are you here for how much I will give to you, or you are here to work? Because a teacher must have a passion for the job first. If you are just looking for, let me make some little money for myself so that I can start a particular business, such a teacher can never help your school. You see, somebody that is looking for money, to quickly look for money and to do whatever he or she has in mind. When you see a born teacher, when I say a born teacher, they have passion for teaching. You will see them working tirelessly. You will see them ready to work, money or no money. That is a workforce. So if by God's grace you are able to see people like that, you will know that you have found one. So it is a wrong expectation saying that, don't worry, when I start a school, by the time I start making money, I will send you to London, I will send you to England. No, it is never like that. You have a waiting period. When you start a school, you have a waiting period. When that waiting period is over, you will see it. Everything will just become much more easier for you. So that's the truth and nothing but the truth. So talking about the advice I have for teachers that are planning to own a school, I have said a lot of things here, and I'm sure they might have learned one or two things from me. Number one thing, if you want to start a school, I advise you to have passion. You must have passion. Somebody that has not taught before, that has never been in any school to teach, and just starting a school, it may not work because your teachers are looking at you. When you see me in the classroom, you don't know that I'm a school owner, because I mingle with my teachers. Hardly when anybody that comes in, hardly will you know this is the oga, this is the subordinate. We all work tirelessly. I don't miss my class. What do they call it? Timetable. I'll be the first to be there. I don't wait for the student to come and call me. I don't behave like a boss. I work like a subordinate. So if you are ready to do that, you can start a school. But if you are the type that say, let me be the boss, I'm the boss here, you want to boss people around, you want to be the one just giving orders without you going there first to do the work, you can't be a school owner. You have to become a subordinate yourself. You have to have very big passion. You have to be very, very, very. You have to be humble. You have to be full of humility. If you can't humble yourself, you can't be a school owner. Because I can assure you, if you are somebody that is very proud, you will meet some parents that will pull you down. They will disgrace and embarrass you. So you must be very humble, full of humility. You must be very patient. You should be able to persevere. Because there is always a rainy day in any business. And there is always a dry season in every business. Remember that when you start a school, you may have a lot of dry season before the rainy season comes. So if you think you are coming in there just to make money, to make profit, don't bother to start a school. Don't bother at all. That is the advice I have for them. So you have to have a good vision. You have to have a good mission. You have to persevere. You have to be full of humility. You have to be loving. You have to be kind. You see, you have to have a lot of good things within you for you to be able to be a good teacher or a good a good school owner. So I'm wishing everyone here listening to me here and the one listening to Obi Daniel, because this is an ebook that we have prepared for school owners and upcoming school owners. I want you to come from your classroom to be a school owner, but you can't do that without listening to a message like this. Everything I've taught you here and the one you have listened to definitely will do you well, and you have a good and wonderful school. I wish you the best of luck in whatever you have planned to do. Thank you very much.